So the territory that we're going to cover today, we know in the pelvis you have an inlet, this ring at the top of the pelvis, and we're going to call, and it is called the inlet. I didn't make that up. And the center of that, the center of the inlet, this is going to be, we're going to call it the core of the pelvis, the pelvic core. And then the pelvis also has the outlet. The outlet is this cylinder-shaped part of the pelvis. And the landmarks that you're going to want to know today are going to be, where's the core at the center of the pelvis? This is not a bony landmark, so you're going to have to find it with your felt sense. You're just going to have to go, wow, where is that in me right now? And this takes time because the pelvis is not level like this. It has, right, a particular tilt. And right now you're sitting on your sit bones. And the sit bones are one of the landmarks that we're going to use. From your sit bone to your tailbone or side of the sacrum in this pelvic floor. So we know we have the pelvic floor, and in the pelvic floor we have the perineum at the center, right? The perineum is the center of the pelvic floor. So we could go from the center of the pelvic floor to the tail and to the sit bone. And from that, it's like a little triangular shape. In some instances, you're going to reach from the core of your pelvis into that back part of your pelvic floor, from perineum, sit bone, and tailbone sacrum. And then we're also going to sometimes reach from, and we might go from the core to there, we might go from there to the core. And we might just leave it, if you got that, great. You would go no further. I don't want to complicate it anymore. For those of you that have studied this before with me, you're going to maybe remember that the other part we worked with was from pubic bone to sit bone in the core, right? So we had these two, a back piece and a forward piece, and how they relate to the core in different poses. All right, enough. And if all that just seems like complete gobbledygook, makes no sense, don't sweat it. Do not sweat it at all. Be present. So just close your eyes right now, take your comfortable seat, rest your hands. Notice how your body connects to the sit bones and to the support beneath you. Lengthen your spine. And deepen your breath. And go ahead and drop yourself into that balanced inhale and exhale. See if you can stay present for the muscles and the bones that are moving on your smooth inhale. As well, can you also be present for the full exhale, that smooth exhale. Don't allow yourself to step away. If a thought or a story comes in, just let it drift away. You don't have to respond. You just let that thought go, just like the cloud that passes in the sky. At the bottom of your next exhale, release any control on your breath, but stay there to notice how your body is being breathed. Join your hands together in front of your heart. This morning we'll open the practice. Join me in chanting the sound of Om. And we'll sing Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Take a deep inhale. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. With your next exhale, you can bow your head towards your heart. Release your hands and lift your gaze. All right. Again, you're welcome to ask questions during class. To begin our class this morning, we're going to come into either puppy pose or downward facing dog. So either puppy where the hips are still lifted and high, or if you feel ready, you'll come on up to downward facing dog. Whichever pose you have chosen. As you strongly reach from your outer shoulder blades toward the upper arms, all the way down the core of the arms, to the index finger knuckle and all the finger pads. And from this place between your sit bones, your tailbone, the perineum, most of us are going to want to lengthen all the way to the core of the pelvis. Are you still able to find your breath? Are you still connected to the Ujjayi breathing? And then if you're in downward dog, lower your knees. If you're in puppy, walk the hands back. We're gonna go to sit in Virasana. So you might want 1 or 2 blocks if you sit in Virasana. If your knees are not happy in Virasana, hero's pose, then you can just sit it cross-legged on a blanket. Otherwise, if Virasana works for you, we'll take the heels wide apart, the knees are together. I take a block on the lowest setting. That's for me. That works for my body, but it might not be the right height for everyone. Take your hands to the back of the calves if you're coming to Virasana and pull that tissue back and out as you lower the pelvis to 1 block or 2 blocks if you're coming into Virasana. And then let's inhale the arms straight ahead. Clasp the hands, exhale, elbows wide. Inhale, reach the arms out. Exhale, lift your arms up. So if you're sitting cross-legged or even in a chair, you still do this movement with the arms. Deep inhale, and with the next exhale, we'll go ahead and release the hands out to the sides. I'm going to take my second block, bring it off to, it'll be your right, my left, if I'm going to be a mirror to you right now. So something back here, because we're going to take that same pose, but with a twist. So once again, let's inhale the arms out, change the clasp, exhale, pull them in, inhale, push them away, exhale, lift the arms. A deep inhale. Your next exhale, you're going to release the arms and twist toward your right. And I can, as you twist toward your right, from the left tailbone, left sit bone, perineum, can you reach all the way up to the core of the pelvis? And then we'll come back to center. I'm going to bring my support from my back hand over to the other side. Again, inhale the arms up, exhale, change the clasp again. Inhale, pull the hands towards you, exhale away. Inhale, lift your arms, lengthening through your sides. Your next exhale, release the hands and begin to turn towards your left. And from the right side of your tailbone, your left sit bone, perineum, that space, can you lengthen up towards where you believe the core of your pelvis is as you turn? And you might even go 1 step further. You might go from the core of the pelvis down toward the left side of left sit bone, left tail. Then we're going to come back to center. Great. If you're in Virasana or cross-legged, please come out of that. And you can move your blocks off to the side. Come to all fours. Take the right leg back. Let's open up the back of your right knee. So you can tuck the right toes down on the ground. And then with the next inhale, lift right leg, left arm. And your next exhale, lowering left hand, right knee. Inhale in the middle. Exhale, left leg back. I like to tuck my toes under just to really find a connection, opening the back of my left knee, but also finding a connection all the way up into the left low belly. And when you're ready with your inhale, right arm forward, left leg back. I'm not concerned about how high the left leg lifts. I'm more concerned or more wanting support from my abdominal organs, paying attention to my breathing, and then we'll exhale, lower. Let's walk the hands back, grab your blocks, bring them to the top of your mat, and let's step the right foot forward and the left leg back. So now we're in a lunge. Hands can be on blocks or on the floor. Balancing the weight in your hips. So, from the core of my pelvis, from the center of the pelvis, I'm going to reach. For some of you, you'll know that space between pubic bone and sit bone on the left, on the back leg. And then I'm going to start to lighten my hands. I'm toning the left inner thigh all the way up till it also connects the left tailbone, the left sit bone to the core. And as I start to lift my hands, I feel a lot more stability. I might reach my arms up. I'm still present with those two directions. The core to the left pubic bone, left sit bone, and the right sit bone, left sit bone, left tailbone, back up to the center of the pelvis. Inhale the arms wide. And exhale, bowing forward, still reaching. Let's inhale, step forward. We'll bow there. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, let's step the right foot back. So before I rise, I'm going to go ahead and connect from the center of my pelvis down to the perineum, right pubic bone to right sit bone, and from the other side of the right sit bone towards the tail, perineum, all the way up towards the center. Now I'm going to unweight my hands. Begin to lift my arms. And then inhale the arms out. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Releasing the head and the neck. And here, sometimes it requires a certain letting go to allow myself to really be present, fully present in letting go of the back of my head, in allowing my heart to turn down and in. Because I often find myself wanting to go back and ruminate about something. And then when you're ready, on the next inhale, let's come all the way up to standing. Welcome to take the arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands back in front of your heart. And then we'll release the arms. We're going to, let me tilt this up. We're going to take tree pose. If you want to stand closer to a wall for this tree pose, please feel free to make that transition. If you do transition yourself over to a wall, I would suggest taking the left side of your body toward the wall. We're going to stand on the right leg. But you might have your way that you like to do it. That's completely okay. So we're going to shift the weight toward the right. As you do, from the skin at that outer hip, draw all the way in. So from the skin, all the way through all that tissue to the bone, all the way down. Now I feel myself I can reach into my inner thigh of the right leg is toning. And now as I unweight the left foot completely and bring it to wherever I'm going to put it, arms in any position. Release the arms. Step back down. Settle back into your footprints. As you shift to the left, draw the skin at the left outer hip all the way in towards that left greater trochanter. Firm that left inner thigh. Unweight the right foot. Release your arms and come back to standing. Inhale, lift both arms. And exhale your hands back down in front of your heart. And then we'll release both hands. Excuse me. So we're going to take this and we're going to do some stepping back. Let me show you if this is something you haven't done before. I'll do it from the side. We're going to do a step back to a high lunge. And when we step forward, we'll go to chair pose. So it'll look something like this. When I exhale, I'm going to make a slight bend to the knees, shift my weight to the right, and reach my left foot back. Then, remembering, I'm going to reach from the center of my pelvis to the left pubic bone, left sit bone to tail, to the core. Then we'll inhale the arms wide. Exhale, come down, keep reaching. Then we'll step forward. Inhale, lift both arms. And come all the way up to standing. And we'll take the second side. Ready? All right, let's inhale the arms halfway. Exhale, a small bend to both knees. Inhale deeply. Your exhale, left foot back. Reach it way back. And then at the least, can you reach from your left tailbone, your left inner sit bone, perineum, all the way up to the core of your pelvis. And your inhale, take the arms wide. Keep that reach. Exhale, airplane. Inhale, step forward. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, press all the way up. Release both arms. Inhale, the arms halfway. Exhale, small bend to the knees. Shift the weight to the left. Step the right foot back. Reaching from that right tailbone, right sit bone to the core. Inhale, lift both arms. Inhale, the arms wide. Exhale, airplane. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, arms forward. We'll inhale, lift all the way up, straighten the legs. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Relax the arms. You're welcome to close your eyes. Just taking a moment to just notice the weight in the heels. Notice the weight in your footprints. The beating of your heart. Okay. And then let's take this to a revolved Parsvakonasana or revolved side angle. So I'm going to take my blocks. I'm going to frame right now both of my footprints with those blocks. I might even have them a little forward just for the beginning. Okay. I'll talk you through it. Let's inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, left foot back. So there's a lunge. I'm going to pull my blocks back so that they're framing my front foot. I'm going to take the left hand block and put it closer to the right big toe. So left hand on that block. If I need more than one block there, I'll use more than one block. Now, as you're lengthening from left sit bone, tailbone, perineum to the core of the pelvis, you start to turn towards your right. Take the right hand up on your hip. Keep lengthening. So you could stay right here. Some of you might go ahead and take the right arm and bring it up alongside the right ear. Exhale, release the arm, turn back towards the ground. Move the block, inhale, step forward, and exhale, bow. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, left foot back. Block comes closer to the left big toe, left hand or fist or whatever. And then I'm going to start to really lengthen from right sit bone, the right tailbone, perineum up to the core of the pelvis as I turn towards the left. Deep breathing in that turning. And let's see, Jackie, take a longer stride. Take your foot back farther. Keep going, Jackie, farther. That looks good, Michael. Nice. Great. Yeah, that's it, Tina. I love seeing how that engagement through the back leg. Yep. So some of you might have the arm, the hand on the hip, and some of you might have taken the arm up and over alongside the ear. Inhaling deeply, wonderful, wonderful. Exhale, turning back towards the ground. Inhale, stepping forward. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Just resting in this Uttanasana. And staying present. Using your breath, the Ujjayi breath, to help nurture your presence. And also just what you're noticing in your body, that can help ground you in the present as well. All right. Then we're going to shift the hands to the hips. And inhale, come up. Exhale, hands over the heart. Release both arms. Let's step the feet wide apart. And then we're going to turn the feet out slightly. Get this right. All right. Inhale the arms out. Exhale. So bend both knees. You can take your hands to your thighs. Can you take the knees to point toward the toes? If the knees are not pointing toward the toes, turn the toes more in. Knees pointing toward the toes. And I have my hands resting on my legs. I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to turn them so the fingers point down the inner thigh. And I'm going to lean on my arms. Leaning on my arms. When I lean on my arms, it's really easy for me to let go of something I want to be a little more engaged. So from your tail, let's start with your sit bones, both sit bones. Bring your felt sense to the inner sit bones, all the way to your tailbone, your perineum, and lengthen that a little more up towards the core so that you're not just completely hanging down there. You're actually engaging, supporting. And I feel a little more strength come in to my legs when I do that. And then we'll inhale, let's straighten both legs. Let's make the feet parallel. Inhale, lift both arms. And exhale, take the arms wide. We're going to bow forward, wide-legged forward fold. We can bring our hands down to blocks or the floor. And if your legs are straight and you can touch the floor, feel free. Let's release the spine. And then we're going to inhale, lift the torso back up. Shift the weight and the hands up to the hips. Come back up to standing. I'm going to take my heels in and my toes out again. Inhale, my arms out. Exhale, I'm coming back down towards that goddess position. And I remember from my sit bones to my tailbone up to the core of my pelvis. Let's take the arms forward. Inhale, draw the palms in. Exhale, push them away. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, straighten both legs, release the arms. Inhale the arms halfway. Exhale, bend both knees. Inhale, bring the hands forward. Exhale, pull them in. Push them away. With the breath, lift your arms. And then release the hands, straighten both legs. We could heel toe the feet back to center. Find Tadasana. It's amazing to me how much my mind wants to come in and just have a little story always kind of going on. So what do you do to really feel the ground beneath you? All right, so let's set up, we're gonna take triangle pose. So we'll take our blocks. You're gonna go to the left side first. So if you'll step your feet apart, drop the right heel back and turn the left foot out. And have one or maybe two blocks at the left outer shin. Okay, both legs will be straight in this. So let's inhale, take the arms out. And exhale to triangle. As you go, I like to bring my hand to my hip, my back hand. So where's the weight in the front foot? Can you balance that weight in the front foot so it's not all on the outer heel? Turning the torso. And if you like, add the arm. So on the front leg, really, if I draw the skin at the outer left hip all the way towards the greater trochanter on the front leg, you feel all the way through that space into center. And we'll inhale, come up. And exhale, let's shift the feet to point the other way. Take the block down. So now you've got the right foot out, the left foot in. Inhale the arms out when you're ready. And exhale towards triangle. So from that right outer hip, from the skin, all the way through all of the flesh to the right greater trochanter, drawing all into midline. Deep breathing. Torso turns toward the sky, and maybe the arm lifts up. And the head only turns if the torso has turned first. And then the head can turn where it's comfortable to be. The whole time, yeah, the right outer hip is snugged in. Lengthening that left inner thigh towards the knee, right inner thigh towards the knee. One more deep breath, complete exhale. And then let's inhale and come back up to standing. And then we'll step the feet back together. I know that I can always return to how I connect to the earth. I kind of like the fact that my head is cut off right there. Because how do I connect to the ground? The ground is always present for me. Always present. No matter what, whether I'm sitting, standing, I can always find the ground if I'm willing. As well, my breath is always present. So I can always just bring my attention into how my breath is moving. The trick is really being present for all of that. It's kind of like the trick of being present for a conversation, for really listening, rather than already thinking about my response. So let's take this. We're going to take it to half moon. I like doing the balance poses because they do require me to be present. And if my mental body comes in and starts doing something, I'm usually not going to be able to find my balance. So let's go into half moon from Tadasana is one option, isn't it? And so if I go ahead and set up my blocks, so I've got the blocks so that the inside of the blocks is lined up with the little toe side of my foot. Let's stand on the right foot first. Let me go the other way. We're going to stand on the right foot first. If we're going from Tadasana, then I'm going to face my blocks. And I'm going to just step my left foot back a little. I'm going to draw on the right leg, which is going to be the standing leg, from the skin of the right outer hip all the way into center, all the way. And as you exhale, begin to lift the back leg up and lower the torso. Left hand can come to the hip. Now keep reaching into the standing leg. And then start reaching out the lifted leg. Turning the torso. Maybe adding the arm. Then I'll make a little bend to the front knee, start to bend it, and take my hand away to come all the way back to the starting spot. Second side. So take the right foot back. Taking the right foot back, and as you shift the weight to the left, bring the left greater trochanter, draw from the skin through the flesh to the bone. You'll feel the inner thigh, and then start picking up the back leg. You have to lift the back leg there you go. That's it, Lynn. Yeah. Cool. Right hand might be up on the hip. Just take your time. It's no hurry. You're being present. Yeah. As you reach, so standing leg is strong and steady. It has to be. Then you start reaching out the back leg. Lengthen and reach. Yeah, keep going. Keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching. You're reaching into the ground and you're reaching back through the ball. I like to reach through the ball of the lifted leg. There you go, Peggy, that's it. Yeah. And then when you're ready to come out, you start to bend the front knee. And you bring yourself back to your starting spot. Yeah, feel that. Just be present for the after of it all. Okay, great. All right, can we come down to the ground? And let's have a couple different options here. The options are going to be, I want to open the front of the hip. So we're going to either take half hero's pose or half Supta Virasana, or if that isn't a great pose for you, then you'll take a foot up the wall, or a low lunge with the knee down, right? So let me show you a couple options. One would be I pad my knee. One option, pad my knee. I could take a foot on a piece of furniture up the wall. If I don't have that, then I'll just be in a low lunge with the knee down. I'm gonna let the left knee go forward. So this will be one of the setups is this. One of the other setups is Supta Virasana, half Supta Virasana. So I'm gonna take 2 blocks end to end, put those on my mat, and start building my support. So if I take a blanket, fold it in half lengthwise, put that on top. If I have a bolster, I'm gonna put that on top. If I don't have a bolster, I'm just gonna start adding, how many blankets do I need today? And I'd like to have a pillow or a second blanket to go under the head. To come into it, one leg is going to be in Virasana and 1 foot on the floor. When I come back, my pelvis is not on the support. My pelvis is in front of it. And I'm going to bring the top of the pelvis onto my little tower I made. A pillow under my head. So, whether you're in the low lunge with the knee down or half Supta Virasana, on the back leg, you're going to go from the core of the pelvis toward the space between pubic bone, sit bone, and perineum. If you're in half Supta Virasana, that means you'll feel the pelvis lift. If you're reaching from the core of the pelvis to the pubic bone, sit bone, perineum, the pelvis will lift. Same if you're in a low lunge on the back leg. You might even feel the urge to walk the blocks back and have them really tall. All of us on the back leg or the down knee will also be lifting from the tailbone, sit bone, back to the core. All right, great. Can we switch sides? Let's go to your second side, whether it's Supta Virasana or low lunge with the back knee down, whichever one you've chosen. Let's go to the second side. If I've chosen Supta Virasana, please have the front knee on the ground. You can and you see Michael's using a ball. That's great to give him the support he needs. So whichever pose you've chosen, If you've got the back knee down and it's well padded, yeah, you're gonna, from the core of the pelvis, can you lengthen down towards pubic bone to sit bone? And then on the down knee, from tailbone to sit bone back to the core, reach. So it's these two directions. If you're in half Supta Virasana, the pelvis is lifting. You feel the pelvis lift with that action to lengthen. And you're noticing, how sensitive can I be here? Can I linger just a little more with my felt sense in this place? All right, and then we'll go ahead and release that. And we'll, let's move our blankets out of the way for now. I'll move my blocks out of the way. And I'm going to sit on the ground and draw the knees toward your chest a little bit. We're going to take boat pose. So when you're ready, take the feet from the ground. Take your hands behind the thighs. And then you might lift the lower legs parallel with the floor. Just being present, using your breath. And maybe add the arms straight out alongside the shins. And then we'll take hands behind the knees, bend the knees, and we'll rest for a moment. You can lean forward. And then we're going to take another one. So I'm going to lean back a little. I'm not going to arch my low back for this. I'm going to take my feet from the ground. And I feel that space between my sit bone. I feel my tailbone. I can reach from my core of the pelvis to that region of perineum, sit bone, tailbone. Oh, and that actually changed how I was engaged. So I'm not arching the low back here. And then I might take my hands behind my knees. I might take my shins parallel with the floor. I might add the arms. I might straighten my legs. And then bend the knees, let the feet come down. And we're gonna take, lie all the way down for a moment, bring the knees to the chest. Inhale, take the knees and arms length away. And we'll exhale, hug them in. Let's bring both feet to the ground. So make your feet parallel. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Inhale, lift your pelvis.
You might lift the back of the head just a little, just tuck the shoulders under a bit. Shift the weight to the right foot. And can you lift the left foot from the ground? Exhale, left foot back down. Both feet are there. Shift your weight to the left foot. And maybe lift the right foot down. Press into both feet. And exhale, lower. Resting here, feet are on the ground, pelvis on the floor. Let's roll over to one side. Use the arms, push yourself up, and let's set up for a supported bridge pose. I like to have one of my blankets folded lengthwise. I take that rolled end away from me. I know where my blocks are, and I do like adding a strap to help me get the lift I'm looking for through the upper back. So I'm going to take my strap. It has a loop in it. The loop is about the width of my upper arm bones. Maybe slightly narrower, but not a lot narrower. So a little narrower than my upper arms. And then when you lie over your blanket, shoulders are on the blanket, the back of the head is on the ground. I want to be able to reach my strap and my blocks. So I'm going to lift the pelvis. There's one block. Just try it on one block. And then if there's space and it feels great, I'm going to put a second block there. And I'm going to feel that. How is it? Is that the right amount? Does that give me the kind of support I'm looking for? Some of you will be better with one block, some of you with two blocks. Some of you might feel like there's room without compromising the low back to take the second block at a little higher level. Then you're going to take your strap, find the loop. It's between the blocks and your feet. And there's your supported Setu Bandha, the supported bridge. If the loop is too small, you're not going to be able to lift the chest. So I just noticed my loop, I think it needs to be another inch bigger. Yes, that was so much better for me because then I'm able to really lift through that space of the rib cage. And then some of you might want to take the legs up to the sky for a supported, modified shoulder stand. The eyeballs turning towards the place of the knees or the belly. The eyes can be closed. We want this the ability for the brainstem to rest back, you might notice, how does the position of the eyes affect where the brainstem is? This very subtle change. And then if you've got the legs up, you're welcome to bend the knees and lightly touch them to the ground. Take your hands out of your strap. If you have 2 blocks, remove one of your blocks. And if you're moving the bottom block, let's lift the back of the head, walk your feet and your body towards the blanket so you can put your pelvis on your blanket. And keep the knees bent, the feet on the ground, and just receive this. Receive the resting right now. And then let's roll over to one side. Use your arms to push yourself up. Let's take Marichyasana 3. Let's take it, we'll sit on a block on the lowest setting. Take your right leg straight, bend your left knee, put your left foot on the ground. I'm going to take a blanket under my straight leg, knee, because it likes to hyperextend. And then you're going to turn towards the bent knee. Hand behind you to help support you. You might turn as far as to get the outer elbow to meet the outer knee. And you're welcome to turn just the gaze back towards the straight leg big toe. Okay, let's release that. Let's switch sides. Second side. Hand behind to support. Elbow might come to the outer knee, or maybe it's the clasp of just the hand itself. Palm. Torso turns towards the bent knee side, but the gaze might come back to the big toe or the straight leg. And then we'll exhale back to center. And let's come down to the ground. Let's take a Shavasana. And whatever support you want to provide for yourself as you come to the ground this morning. Relaxing. Just letting go of the belly and the throat. The jaw, the root of the tongue.
And then allowing your breath to deepen. And gently bringing movement to your body. Make a mindful transition over to one side. And use the support of your hands to come back up to a comfortable seat. Once you're back in a comfortable seat, draw your attention to the air as it moves in through both nostrils. And you might notice that you feel the air move through one nostril more easily than the other. Draw your attention to the nostril that seems to not be moving the air as easily. What's your felt sense there? And then the air as it travels back in through both nostrils. And then draw your attention to the space where the air joins to one behind the nostrils. And then up towards the third eye, which is 2-3 inches back in the skull. And you might be drawn all the way up, even slightly above the crown. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I'm stopping that recording. If you